And I remember back in 2009 when Dean first moved in, I had a radio show, and I thought, now that I'm on the radio, I can see instantly that I will have 2 clients every day for 4 days. And Dean even set up like an 800 number so people could call me, and I was like, I'm going to go big time right away because I'm on the radio. And then that's like my phone wasn't ringing and I wasn't coaching 2 people a day. And I had this coaching program on my website for literally 3 years before anybody called me for a coaching program. I think I told you, when they did call me for a coaching program, I had to develop one because I hadn't really actually developed one. Remember that, Dean?
Yep.
I'm like, I need a coaching program. Somebody just paid me for a coaching program. But now it's been 3 years, 3 solid years, and what the universe has brought to me, I realized a couple of years ago that I was like, oh my gosh, I am coaching 2 people a day. And I was still holding out a full-time job. And so Dean has seen this whole thing. And Dean's lived with me almost 4 years now. So we're talking like no coaching clients. And now all of a sudden, I'm working my full-time job. I'm running home, shoveling a couple bites of food into my mouth, and jumping on the phone literally 10 minutes after I go home and coaching for 2 more hours after I've worked an 8-hour day as an LNA. And I did that for almost 2 years. And then I thought, I'm going to go down to, 4 days. I'm going down to 4 days. I'm going to have Wednesdays my day. And then suddenly I was booked with 3 or 4 clients on that Wednesday. And I was like, okay, I totally made up the income that I left that. And now I'm at 2 days. I actually just gave my notice because my new book is coming out, and I want to, my business is going to be the business of being an author. I'm going to go to bookstores and promote my book, and I'm really excited. So I hope this is encouraging for you and inspiring for you. I'm telling you, I just started thinking how great it would be, and I have some other things that you take that longer class with me.
Yeah.
It's worked. It's worked. So you have, I love that in the time we've been working together, you have that Ayurvedic medicine, right?
Yeah.
That
yeah,
is
something like that.
perfect. Yeah, you said that. I was like, oh, that's perfect for her. And you see how that's so you? Like, I know that that's really cool, and I know a little bit about it. I think Deepak Chopra has an Ayurvedic something or other, and I know the word, but this is you. You know what I mean? This is all you, and you get it.
It is. I mean, it is stuff that I've dealt with my whole life. It's stuff that I've been passionate about my whole life, and
Wow.
I mean, I have, I do feel like I would have a lot to offer as one of those. So it's very exciting.
Well, I don't like to jump too far ahead, but I'm clairvoyant, so sometimes I see things down the road. Like coaching 2 clients a day, 4 days a week. But when you say that, I see, what was it? Oh, I see Mr. Right. We'll call him that. Just I'm not getting a name like Ben or something. Have you ever dated a Ben?
I have not.
I don't know. I just got a name Ben. I don't know. Like, where did that come from? So that's kind of a healthy kind of Ayurvedic name, isn't it? Benjamin?
Yeah.
Oh, just popped in. So imagine you are, ideal day. You're taking this class. You're not driving to the job you intensely dislike. You're going to your workshop. You're learning. Let's go back to ideal day. So we're not taking the workshop and coaching. So again, when I start to work more closely with you on manifesting, we'll pick your ideal day now and your ideal day in 5 years, something like that, okay? But I'm seeing something within that time frame between where you're starting and where you're going, and I do believe it's on and on and on. And the time that you've known me, haven't you seen me go through a lot of changes?
Yeah.
And
that's only been since like September, so yeah.
Right. Like I didn't know exactly I was going to sit down and write the book that I did. I had an idea a couple of years ago I was going to write this book. I didn't have it just so it's okay, write the book now. Oh, okay. So that's an intuitive way of living. And this is what I'm, going to continue to work with you on, so that I imagine that you are doing what you love within the next 5 years and you're passionate about it. And you are so magnetic with energy because you are doing what you love and you are an expert in what you do and you're helping so many people. But there's this guy like in your workshop, but very powerful in his own right. It just really gets you and asks you on an adventure date and wonders what you're doing Friday night. Can you see that? Can you feel that?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the analogies I've said in the past, when we don't want to, and I'm not calling Adam darkness, but let's just say this isn't the brightest part of your life right now. But there's something when you walk into a dark room and you turn on the light, you don't have to push the darkness out the door, right? It just goes away.
Yeah.
You're not focusing on it. It's gone. You're illuminated now. So that's how I quit smoking, really. It was a little bit of a challenge the first day, but I had tried so many times to quit. And you could have paid me $1 million and I would have been smoking those cigarettes. And what happened was some kind of awareness came over me where I had gone through the patch or white knuckling it, and you see people like that all the time trying to quit addictions. And I say, you'll quit when you're ready. You can buy all the patches you want. There's something on a deeper level that you're not aware of yet, but once you become aware, then you don't have to fight against these things. Is that making sense?
Yes, it does.
So it's
and I guess, and now, and that's the thing. I am more and more every day. I'm feeling this more and more. And now I was just gonna ask the question, but I almost felt the answer. But where it's like, okay, so now, what do I do? I don't know.
I'm telling you, you follow your path. You follow your path. You take your classes. You find your passion. And this is how I'm seeing it for you. This is what happened in my life. When I flew to Palm Springs because I wanted to study with this teacher. And I remember it was like the longest journey of my life. And my kids were still pretty little. And my ex-husband was watching them. And everybody in my life, my mother, I thought it was completely crazy. And I said, I just got to do this. I just got to do this. So I land in Palm Springs, and it's like landing on an alien planet, crying out loud, right? And I'm by myself, and I'm in this big hotel, and I'm smoking a cigarette on the back porch of my hotel, and I'm going, what am I doing? And I'm in pain, and I'm in divorce, and I'm addicted to everything, and I'm sad, and I'm a mess. But I have this writing thing. And it was just starting to clue into what I do now. But it wasn't like I do now at all. I go to the workshop. It starts at 7 o'clock at night. It's just the first night we did a 7 to 11 session. I sit down. I'm jet lagged like anything. It's like a 9-hour flight to California. And I left at like 4 in the morning. And I'm like, I got to be up till 11 on this thing. And I sit down in the chair. And this is like 50 of us in this workshop. And I look over to the right. The first person I see is guess who? The guy sitting next to me right now. Yeah, and I look at him, and I had this other guy that I kind of had a crush on, and I was divorced, but he really treated me really badly and never called me and all that stuff. But I looked over and I looked at Dean, and then I just was kind of looking at him. I was like, he looks kind of like a bad boy. That's what I thought. I remember he was like a bad boy. I go, oh, great, right? I'm like, oh, I know what that type, right? And then he gets up and walks like in front of me over to a diagonal. I'm just kind of watching him walk by, and I'm like, I don't even know what I could put it into words. I was like, oh no. I had an oh no.
You stopped me.
Hold on, I stopped. Oh, I did. Okay, Dean, you say what happened next?
We were told to get up and do an exercise with a small group or whatever, and when I turned to the left, she immediately asked me, you want to be in a group? I was like, sure.
I did. I'm bold. I know, huh? Can you believe I did that? I did. I went right. I was like zooming over to him before he could ask anybody else. I was like, do you want to be in my group? And don't say what you thought of me, because I was really skinny back then and really drawn because the cigarettes weren't doing me any favors. And you didn't think too much of me. I looked a little Be nice.
I am nice. I felt like you...
Wounded and lost and a little spooky because my face was skinny and, right?
Yeah, I just thought you were a little off and...
A little off.
Was...
Troubled.
Yeah, troubled. And I really was in my own wounds and trouble from, you know, I was in the middle of divorce, and so...
Yeah, we were in the same place. We were both wounded and troubled.
So I really, you know, wasn't focused on her at all, although it's very rare that somebody, so, you know, a woman turns to me and says, you want to be in a group. So it was kind of interesting that happened, and I remember making a note of it in my head that it just kind of felt good to be acknowledged in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so we had a weekend. So that was it. He was in my group, and then Dean was like spilled his guts in the group. Remember that? Like we had to like say like things that we were troubled about. And what I realized later, Dean's like a professional workshop person. It wasn't his first workshop he'd ever been to. He was like, I went through it before. He's like, I was like, oh my God. I'm like so shy. Like, I had a hangnail and it's really hurt. You know? So that's what I remember about the first night in that group. Dean was like a pro. But I was like, and I was almost like, geez, hold something back. Right? It's so funny. It was so long ago. That was back in 2007, April. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was 5 years ago. And then, again, there was nothing to it. It's a group. We worked a lot of groups that weekend. And then one other time, I think I told you, sorry, he was in the group, and he said something about, I said something about my kids, and just the way he said, oh, you're, I don't know, what, do you remember what you said? You must be a good mom, or you're...
Something about you're a great mom for your kids.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm going to marry him. And that was it. I went home on that Sunday. Workshop was over. We didn't stay in touch. Now, this teacher offered us a year-long program. So in June, I ended up going back to Palm Springs with just a lot less of us that signed up to work in this year-long program. There was Dean back in the workshop, and we were just friends, and we learned all about... I finally learned to tell people more than my hangnail story, but I really dumped my stuff, you know, and what I know it's different for everybody, Kelly, but I really wasn't looking for a relationship at that point. I thought I kind of had one because I had this guy that was really stringing me along, even though it was like a call every now and then. He lived in another state. Like, he was really charming, so it made me feel like I was in a relationship. Okay? And I was focused on healing myself.
Yeah.
And I know it's different for, like I said, it's like, well, so your story, maybe your story, but I get, you know, I'm psychic, and I get like something for you where I just see you finding what you, just doing what you love, and then being in the energy where somebody's going to notice that. Because, okay, this is another thing. Adam is not noticing you being vibrant and passionate and attractive like that. Again, and Dean, I was not, I mean, everything is energy. Don't you think I'm a lot more attractive now than I was back then?
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, it's been 5 years. I'm older, but I do what I love, and it shows. People always say, you look younger all the time, man. I look, you know, it's not a physical thing. It's an inner spark and glow.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's very exciting, and I feel it, and I know it all will happen, and it's great, but
you want to plan, you want to know what day and what workshop.
No, like, okay, so now do I continue working on stuff with Adam? Like, do I continue doing whatever is going on? Like, do I have to go to work tomorrow?
Okay,
you know.
Okay, again, I kept working. I've managed to transition out of a job into doing what I love.
Yeah.
I've transitioned in every area of my life. My ex-husband moved out. I lived on my own for a while. I had to find myself. I went through, I mean, I could say I was dating, I was alone. When you're dating somebody that really isn't dating you for all sakes and purposes, I think, like you, I just made me feel like I wasn't alone, but I really was, looking back. But during that time, this time, Kelly, for you is about reading the books you're interested in, taking the classes you're interested in, and I know you want, I mean, it would be great to have the partner to go along doing this with you, and I can't say the timeline of when this other guy is going to come in, but can you at least understand that Adam is not seeing, when you are fully, it could even be Adam gets taken aback. There's just something that's going to blast him out of his complete